Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. I'm here in Creighton, Pennsylvania, the home of the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, which is, of course, where they make Iron City and Icy Light. We've got Rosella here, the tour manager, and you always give the tours, but you're going to give us an extra special behind the scenes tour today, right?
We absolutely are.
All right, well, let's go. We're in the gift shop right now, but we've got a lot of beer making to see. This is all part of your distilling operation?
Yes, this is all Iron City Distilling, so it's all whiskey in these barrels. Right now we have over about 3,200 barrels filled. And I'm sure you can feel how hot it is. It's about like 92 degrees in here right now because
That's okay.
the whiskey loves it. That's what we always say. So yeah, the barrels, they'll weigh about 100 pounds whenever they come in, and then once we stick them on the ricks, they'll be about 500, 520 pounds each. So there's a ton of whiskey right now.
And how long do they sit here?
It depends on the product. Rye's usually about 2 years. Bourbon's around 3 or 4.
So is this the quality control laboratory?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we're considered to be one of the highest tech breweries on the East Coast. We've had other breweries come in and use our labs. They've tested things out in here because nobody else around has this high level of technology. There's one person, Jules, she works in our quality control department, and that's just due to how high tech everything is in here.
Is that her? We're looking at Jules right now.
Yeah, yeah. So in here, they're taking care of things like yeast cultivation, color, carbonation, shelf life, very
So if,
science.
like one time you make beer and you're like, oh, this is a little more orange than usual. What's up? Then Jules will figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. She'll take samples really frequently and bring it into the lab. And a lot of it is quality control, so it's making sure those things don't happen. Here it is. All of these fermentation tanks are about 14,000 gallons each and 38 feet tall. They're all US-based stainless steel. We got these in from Syracuse, and when they brought them in, the whole wall had to come down. They had to tear down the entire wall and then build that back up because this building was originally PPG glass. This was factory number 1 for all of PPG, and this building was built in 1883. The fermentation tanks obviously are used for fermentation, so it'll hang out for about 14 to 20 days in there.
So that's how long it takes to make beer, basically.
It's the longest process. We'll kind of see things a little bit later as far as like the actual beer making process, but that only takes them about 2 hours. It's actually super fast. And then obviously filling it into the bottles and packaging is pretty fast. So this 14 to 20 day period is really the only long chunk of the whole process.
And so did you bring a lot of stuff from the old Lawrenceville factory when you moved here?
No, most of this stuff is new to this building. We use GEA brewing equipment, and it's considered to be the highest tech brewing equipment in the entire world. And that's just due to how automated and how high tech everything is. Yeah, so this is the main brew house floor. We have 5 brewers in total. And they control everything back where their labs are in the back corner. And they take care of mostly everything electronically, and they can even do some things remotely from home.
So this is sort of like beer mission control.
Exactly. No, I haven't heard that before, but that's the perfect word for it. So you can see like their whole schedules are along the back wall over there. And then that big TV there shows all of their controls. Like that, it looks like a spaceship. Of course, they do walk out there and do quite a bit of it hands-on as well. But it is wild how much of it can be done just in this room back here. The silos and everything are right on the outside of this wall over here. So
That's where they're putting grain and hops and stuff like that in.
I always consider that to be like part 1 of the whole process. But I always say if we can get things locally sourced, we will get them locally sourced. But then there's things like hops, for example. Those don't grow very well in Pennsylvania, so we'll get those usually from out of state. But everything comes in, it gets brought inside and it gets milled and mashed down. Then that mash is going to get cooked through these tanks right behind us. They're going to insert the hops in at that point, mix the hops in with that mash. And then the cool thing we do is we filter all of that dry grain out. At this tank right behind me, it's called the Latrobe. And all of that grain that gets filtered out, that's called spent grain. And the spent grain actually gets used. Farmers come by and pick it up, and they use that for feed. We have a company that makes dog treats out of it, and then they sell it in the gift shop. And then Mancini's, they make some spent grain, like burger buns with us. Yeah, and I think they sell it at like some local Giant Eagles.
Okay, we've entered like Willy Wonka's universe. There are millions of cans zipping around us like a Kennywood ride. It's crazy in here.
This is obviously our packaging line.
So all these cans are empty.
Yes, so these are all empty cans. The labels are going to be printed directly on them. But they're going to come along the track and get put into our filler, this big machine right here. Once it enters into the filler, those cans are first going to get rinsed out. So they're going to get flipped upside down. We're going to rinse them out. Then that big circular object in the middle is what the filler is. Exactly.
It's like a big merry-go-round.
Exactly, yeah. Then that's when we're filling all of those cans up. Then afterwards, it gets sent into where that box is spinning. That's going to be putting on all of the lids. So it's stamping all of those lids on there. But that filler is going to fill about 400 cans per minute.
How many hours a day does this machine run?
They're just here Monday to Friday, and they just do 1 8-hour shift a day. You would probably love to have a nice cold beer right off of the filler.
Yeah, I would love that. That sounds amazing. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Thank you very much. So this is Old German.
Yes, this is Old German. We've been making Old German since about the early 70s. It is a classic old school beer. You talk to, your dad, he probably drank Old German back in the day. But this is just a light beer. It's kind of always, I say, like a mix between an Icy Light and an Iron City.
This was filled mere seconds ago. Wow, okay. I don't think I've ever had fresher beer in my life. This is amazing. It's refreshing for a hot summer day like today. It's perfect.
I know. I always say you're never going to have a beer as good as that right off of the line like that, too.
And so all the cans just go through these ovens, basically, that pasteurize it?
Yeah. So it'll come out of the filler at 35 degrees.
Right, it was cold when I drank it.
It was 35 degrees, yeah. Then it'll come out of the filler. It'll pass through the pasteurizer. It fluctuates up and down in temperature to 140 degrees at one point while it's in there.
That's why you didn't give me one after the pasteurizer. Otherwise, I'm drinking a boiling hot beer.
Well, it actually comes out again at room temperature. And then it'll be room temp the whole rest of the way. At this point, the beer is coming out of that pasteurizer, and they're making their way around, and that's when they're going to get sent into their packaging line. Those 16 and 24-ounce cans don't get put into a big case. They get put into these cardboard boxes, and right here is where we're stamping all of those plastic rings on.
Oh, those plastic rings, this machine puts it on?
Yes. So this is our tap room space. We have this open to a ton of different public events, Steelers watch parties, but the really neat thing is when we have our concerts over here, in a few weeks we have Blues Travelers, Gin Blossoms, and Spin Doctors coming in. And if you buy a VIP ticket, you get seats closest up to the stage and you get inside access. So you get access to this whole upstairs tap room space. Nice inside air-conditioned bathrooms. This right here is the largest TV in Western Pennsylvania.
Wait, this is let's get a little closer. I want to get a better sense of this scale. And so what do you play on this TV?
So it's 24 by 14 feet. So we'll do, for those concerts, we actually put a live projection of this concert on this TV here.
You're having a Steelers watch party, presumably you'd put a Steelers game up there.
Absolutely, all kinds of things. We can split it. We do March Madness weekend where we're able to split that into a bunch of different screens. But it's actually a TV. It's not.
You're watching sporting events. The athletes are like bigger than they are in real life, probably.
Yeah, and we hook it up to the surround sound. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
And you're right above the brewery also. Like, we can see the top of the tanks here. What a cool spot.
Line and everything's visible from here as well. Yeah, and then we have this whole full bar as well where we serve all of our products. If we don't make it, we get a local product as well.
All right, what are you pouring here?
Right here is our brand new blueberry wheat under Blockhouse Brewing.
As soon as you started pouring it, I could smell blueberries.
Absolutely. You are not going to say you don't taste the blueberry.
Well, thank you so much for the tour. We're going to toast with some blueberry wheat.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming. This was a blast.
Oh my gosh, so blueberry. I love it. Tastes like Pittsburgh summer.
Absolutely.